back to another episode of Whole Lotta Podcast. This is your host, Ebenezer Ojo. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. We love you. We appreciate you. Man, how's your week been, Hope?
Good, bro. I almost had to fight some little boy.
That is a crazy story. Tell me about that. What happened?
So I went on a bike ride. I'm trying to be healthy.
We're trying to be outside, be healthy. It's actually a nice day. It's been raining for a while.
Yeah, it was a nice day today, and I went. Ebenezer has a bike, so I came over here and went on like a 30-minute bike ride, and I lost my AirPods on the bike ride, and someone took them, but I found them.
Someone took them.
I found them.
It was like you were being John Wick.
But
instead of a puppy, they took your AirPods.
That is my puppy. So, my whole mood changed. So, yeah, when you lose something like AirPods, especially when it's your fourth pair of AirPods, it does something.
But tell me, you went to find my iPhone.
Yep, I did find my iPhone, this fat ass. Went to go to McDonald's, and then he went to go pump some gas in his car.
You were literally tracking him down.
I was tracking his butt.
Dang.
Nah, he's not tracking his butt.
Bandits. You're tracking him, and then what happened? You're cutting out the juiciest parts of the story. You just talked about, I went to go look for my AirPods and I found them. Okay. You gotta tell them what happened.
So I pretty much decided they're gone because the last location it said was an hour ago. But then I get a notification saying, okay, location is updated, and then it was at some house. So I drove over to the house, and it said it was at some shorty house. I knock on her door. Shorty was like, I don't even know what the heck. She said, I don't even know what iPads are. She said,
AirPods. Yeah, I don't know what AirPod is.
No, she said, I don't even know what iPads are.
Oh, that's what?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't say iPad. I said AirPod. I don't even know what that is.
Bruh.
So at first I was like, she lying, bro. She lying, bro. But then she was like, call the police. So I called the police. They came.
So that's a good sign because that means that they probably didn't take it. They want you to call the police.
Yeah. So they came. And Buddy felt, he looked like he hated his job. I don't understand why you're a police officer and hate your job. This is your civil duty. This is what you get paid to do. You find AirPods.
You signed up voluntarily.
Like you
nobody forced you to be a police officer.
When someone steals something, your job is to go and find the stolen piece. Why then are you saying, I don't know what to do? I don't know. I don't know my ass. So then we realized, bro, we're standing on top of the AirPods. Where the heck could these AirPods be? Yeah. So he thinking it's in my car. I'm like, nah, it's not in my car. Then he's like, all right, man, I truly don't want to know. I don't know what to do. Then some guy, shorty neighbor comes. She's like, oh, I was supposed to give these to you, to the police officer.
Oh,
give it to me!
Oh, you didn't even tell me that. He gave it to the police officer?
He gave it to the police officer. He gets out of his house. He crawling. I'm saying, nosy white.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, police officer come in. He see black. Black would have came out regardless, but he's like nosy ass. Stay in the house.
Exactly.
And he comes out. I see my AirPods. And look, he's right here. Police officer is right there. I'm supposed to give.
Oh, he literally walks past you.
Walks past me. I'm right there. I look at it. And then hands it to the police officer. The police officer hands it to me. He's like, oh, perfect. Job is done.
Wow.
And you know what this dude does? He doesn't even look at me. He just walks back. And then Shorty, thank God old Shorty was there. She's like, oh my goodness. His name was Ken. Ken on Cleve Avenue in the Grove Heights. The first house on Cleve Avenue, right outside of the main street by the fire department in Evergrove Heights. You are a thief.
That is a thief.
You're a thief. Then the shorty asked him, where the heck did you find these? Where are they?
Wow.
He's like, he turned around walking, I just found them.
What did the police officer say?
He said, here you go. My job here is done. I said, oh,
there goes IGH Police Department doing their due diligence with their citizens.
Nah.
Then they're gonna even question the man who.
How did you get them? How did you get them? Why didn't you report this?
The fact that you walked out of your house, nigga, how would you find them in your house? Did you find his AirPods under your couch or something?
You know what I was ready to do? What? I was ready to have it be a little kid.
Oh,
and then their mom is like, and then ring, the AirPod is in the house, and I hope that boy got a spanking. That's what I was praying for.
Yeah, like with the grandma. Like, oh, you thought maybe a kid had it in her house.
I thought a kid had it, and like the parents didn't know.
But that's crazy. The man took your AirPods on a little journey from McDonald's
to gas station, back to his place.
Damn, he said he was probably in the middle. He was probably on the dining table like,
I couldn't even use it. I blocked that mug.
Wow.
Clipped it. Thief.
That's crazy, yo.
Thief. It hurts me, bro.
Bro, it's actually so good is somebody like you. Anybody else, bro, let that have happened to like Faith. Turn up. It would have been turned up because a good question is, how did you have this phone, sir? How did this phone happen to be in your possession? Nigga walking back talking about that's crazy.
I didn't know how to speak no proper English.
That's crazy.
Shorty said, yeah.
Thank
God. Shorty said, yeah, he's sketchy. Thank God you called the police.
Wow.
You would have found those.
She already knew she was on some different time.
That's the biggest thing is like when I went over to her door, one of her daughters answered the phone. Answered the door. And then she was like, call the police. She was really hesitant she said, call the police. And it took me like 10 minutes because I was just walking up and down the street and she came to my car. She was like, call the police.
Wow. She came to your car?
Yeah. She was like, call the police.
Wow.
And mainly to get her off the hook.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, this has nothing to do with me. But then, and it was good. Made a good connection.
So I wonder if he looked out the window and was like, oh, the jig is up. I got to do something quickly.
The jig is up.
I'm surprised because he didn't have to come out. So I wonder why
he didn't have to come out. If he did come out, I probably wouldn't have found him.
Yeah, so I'm like, what was he paranoid or why did he come out?
Police do something to some people. And the thing is, he tried to call me because I put my number on there, so you can't use the AirPods.
Yeah.
Unless it's my account. So I put my number on there, and then he tried to call me, but he called me on no caller ID. Boy, show your number, bro. You lucky. I don't have your number. How to put your number out there, and I ain't scared to do that either, bro.
That's so crazy though. There's some crazy people out here, man. Thieves coming out shapes and sizes and ages. How old do you think that man was?
60.
Damn.
60. You
60 years old. You don't even know what an AirPod is, bro.
You 60-year-old and you thieving? That's a sad. Last time I stole something, I was 12, 13, bro.
Yeah, why you stealing,
bad
bro?
Boy. You a bad boy.
Man, they not finna change your diapers today, Cleve, bro. You done though. You finna sleep in those Pampers. But man, speaking of criminals, let's transition to another Minnesota criminal who was all over the news this weekend, man, this past weekend.
Sad.
Let's transition to talking about, I don't even know his name. Can you look him up?
I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
People know.
But Minnesota recently had 2 murders, right? A man who...
2 attempted to.
2 other attempted. So a man, and this is what I heard too, this is the lore. He used to work for Waltz. It was an appointee for Waltz.
Yeah, they appointed him.
They appointed him. So he was working under Waltz. He's a liberal, he's a Democrat, working under Waltz. So one day, was this past weekend, he had already started plotting about what he was going to do. They said he had a list.
Yeah.
They had a list of people. Klobuchar was on the list. Waltz was on the list. A bunch of people was on the list, bro. What happened? You crazy?
No. Oh. She should be on the top of that list, right? So no, Lord, please. Let me explain that.
Explain
because she's probably the most famous one on that list.
What? Waltz is way more famous. This man was almost vice.
Was Waltz on the list?
Yes.
Damn, you gonna kill Waltz?
Bro, he was trying to kill so many Democrats, bro.
Why damn though? Why those 4?
So this is what he did. He went to the first people's house, the first legislative people. He went to their house at 4 a.m. Bro, it looked like something out of a horror movie because he came in a police car. That's number one. He came in a police car, and then after he came in a police car, he put on this mask that matched with the skin tone, but it was a completely different face. He put on this skin mask, and then he put on a police outfit. Came to the door at 4 a.m., knocking at the door saying it's the police. As soon as they opened the door, boom! Shot the guy, the legislator. Then went into the house and shot his wife. Dead. Then he went to the second home. Mind you, this was 4 a.m. when he did the first murder. Went to the second home.
Nothing good happens at 4 a.m.
Bro, they went to the second home, right? Maybe now it's about 5 or 6. He was ready to do the next murder. He shot them, but they survived. But the police had already got the call about the first shooting. They were able to get to that house. They did a shootout with him at that second location.
He got away.
Bro, after the shootout, he got away on foot. Bro, on foot, the man got away. That's why there was a manhunt.
It's the largest manhunt in Minnesota.
That's what they said. It was the largest manhunt in Minnesota.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Bro, he then got what's it called? Help from somebody, a family member. They're locked up now too.
Hell yeah,
to get him to northern Minnesota, 3 hours away from the cities. And then that was the same day as Flag Day or whatever. But people were doing the No Kings protest, right, against Trump that same day. So a lot of protests didn't go on in Minnesota as they were supposed to because of that.
What the hell? Not be going out there,
bro.
A lot of people still went though.
Bro, a lot of people still went. That's why I'm just like, yo, the times we're living in, the political atmosphere, it's so toxic.
Why,
bro? It's more hot. It's more hot to be in the White House than to be on O Block, to be in Crenshaw Avenue. Crenshaw Avenue at this point is more safe than being at the White House. Let's be for real. Let's be for real, bro. It's more safe to be a gang member than it is to be a legislative person, bro, at this point in time. At this point in time. No matter what side of the aisle you root for, bro, they finna get you with a Glock or something.
Why does Minnesota have to go on national news for Somalis, for
bro,
killings,
that's another thing,
every
bro.
bad thing?
The Somalian, and I don't want to say the Somalian, just the amount of issues that's been going on in Minneapolis as of late is so bad. It's so bad.
They saying they brought the Somali war to Minnesota.
Bro, they said that there was a Somali war going on in Minneapolis. That's crazy. There was a car chase last year that had killed like 3 or 4 girls coming back from somewhere, the mosque or something. They were killed. They just indicted that person. Then there was another group of Somalians that they were about to bring a gun to a school graduation. Got their ass before they got to the graduation.
Oh, there was a shootout a couple weeks ago at a graduation. Bro, I think somebody died.
I'm just like, yo, what is going on? Minnesota is getting scary out here, man. It's getting scary out here in Minnesota, man. I'm just like, yo. But the other things too, we were just talking about the riots in California. Now this situation, bro, it's like there is a definite correlation between who is in office and how violent it gets. Can we be honest?
I agree.
There is a correlation. I'm not saying it's a causation, but there is a correlation between the level of violence that happens in this country while a certain person is in power.
Okay, look, Ebenezer, I'm 99% with you. Mm-hmm. I get what you're trying to say. Mm-hmm. But you can say the same thing when January 6th happened. Who was in office?
And guess why that happened? Because somebody didn't get to be in the office. And by the way, that was still Trump in the office. Biden doesn't get sworn in.
Biden already won though.
So I'm just like, yo, and this is the craziest thing, right? And we talked about this last week. You have the LA rioters, you're calling them savages. You're calling them anti-American. Mm-hmm. You're calling them this. You do not have the same smoke for the January 6ers who were trying to cause an insurrection. Not even hypocritical to a X degree of hypocritical. Because there's nothing more or less American, nothing more or less patriotic than taking a shit in a congressional office and trying to overthrow a government. The U.S. government by that standard. For somebody to be elected, a coup? Bro, it's the 20th century. I thought we were done with coups back in the 1700s, bro.
It's the 21st century.
21st century. Why are we still doing coups, bro? And then pardon all them niggas. Half of them went right back to jail for pedophilia. Other half of them got killed with police shootouts. Dummies. You're telling me all these are upstanding citizens. Yeah, why are they in jail for pedophilia, bro? Weirdos. You're supporting weirdos.
With that, I remember the statement I made when the race was going on. Someone is gonna die.
Nigga, you can say that every day.
No. I'm saying regardless if Kamala Harris wins or regardless if Trump wins, someone is gonna die because of that decision.
No.
Let me finish. The reason why I said that is because the same hate that some people have with Trump, some people have with Democrats and whatnot. And I do agree with you. Trump does entice violence.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's, and I need to use better words. As I've been listening to the podcast, I need to use a lot of better words. I think it's
sober a little bit.
Weak for you, especially to be a man, and to ride another man so hard that you want
the wheels fall off,
to the end, to the detriment that you want to kill other people because they have a different opinion than you.
It's crazy.
It's borderline C7AY.
It's crazy. And on top of that, Trump also has some recent. He had Flag Day, where he wanted to, and he also called it the whatever year anniversary of the Army.
250th year.
Yeah, the Army, and then it was also his birthday, so he wanted to do something, and they had like the march or whatever with the tanks and everything like that, bro. Ain't nobody attend that joint.
Nobody. They didn't even want to be there.
Everybody was busy protesting the same man running the ish. You spent $45 million on some
45.
people.
I thought it was like 480.
Bro, you spent millions of dollars. Who cares what the number is? It's crazy.
Millions. You could have gone to healthcare. Could have gone
about
to.
It came out of my pocket. Please.
My butt, bro.
Which pocket?
Trump.
And now,
he ain't got no.
Now, you know what the people in Washington are saying? They're saying that march or whatever destroyed their roads because they had tanks and stuff, and it was literally as the tanks were moving, it was crushing the concrete. Yeah. So now. You just paid a lot of money to have soldiers march. Now you gotta pay an extra money to fix the roads that y'all messed up because you want to do a dumbass march that nobody even wants to see, bro.
But let's put blame. Let's stop. People, wait. Let's take a pause.
Okay.
We cannot say Trump is the reason these people died.
Who? The Minnesotans?
Minnesota.
No. Because
we gotta put the blame where the blame is. It's a weak man doing weak man.
That's the other thing. I don't know if this man made this. This is what's difficult to understand. I don't know if this man made this move politically. Because he was working for Democrats.
Bro, he was. They said he was in the military. They say he has all the credentials. They say this is an outstanding guy in the government.
Well, I think it's still unfolding on why. I don't know if he ever wrote a manifesto or anything like that.
He just texted his roommate saying, "Hey, yo, man, I may be dead, but I love you."
Wow. Yeah, good. You're learning. But maybe what he's doing is that, these people didn't do what I want them to, so now they gotta pay because they didn't do what I want them to.
Maybe he knows something we don't know.
Or maybe he knows something we don't know.
Still doesn't allow you to kill somebody.
And on top of that, what is so crazy to me is that I was seeing more footage of him, and he was not even a preacher, but he was going to churches, preaching.
To black folks.
Jumping, saying, I love Jesus. Who doesn't love Jesus? I love Jesus. Jesus is my best friend. I love him. Whoa.
Yeah.
This is the same man who just committed capital murder.
Bro. And that when I watched that video of him preaching, it didn't change anything about, because we all have that.
It don't change my relationship with God.
No. I'm just saying it didn't change anything about him or about me. It's like, bro, there's this saying, and it's a tough saying. Mm-hmm. It's a tough saying. Having an understanding that we are all capable of being Hitler. We have it in us. We all have it in us. The same things that Hitler had. He might have been a little crazier. He might have had schizophrenia. He might have had this or that. But we all have the capabilities to be that inside of us.
Just to be evil.
Yeah, to be evil.
But this is the thing, right? I think when it comes to that Minnesota murder and the fact that he was in church and all that, I think a lot of liberals try to paint that as saying that, this is why I don't trust Christians.
That's the reason why.
And a lot of people put in the comments like, look, it wasn't a drag queen that did this. It wasn't an immigrant that did this. It wasn't all these things. And I want to say this. Your relationship with God is your relationship with God. If you choose to have a relationship with God, great. People are not monoliths. The same way race aren't monoliths. Not all black people are the same. Not all Christians are the same.
Yeah.
Bro, there have been different communities of different whatever you identify with or side with that have done terrible things.
100%.
You cannot just say it's because it's
the transgender folk who went to the school and killed them, try to kill them kids.
So all I'm saying is this: people who start doing that in the comments, what does that solve?
What does that do?
What does that solve? Just say that you're not a Christian and keep it pushing.
Yeah.
A murder is a murder. Innocent people died. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Bro, they will ride that horse. As soon as that video got out, they will ride that horse. This is the reason why I don't go to church. This is the reason why I don't go to church.
Forever.
No, that's not the reason why. You don't go to church because you like to be insane.
And this is the other thing too. We need to be more cautious of the people we praise. Because I'm sure a lot of people at that church are like praising him like, oh, that's a great preacher or something like that, right?
Which you could be.
But no, you don't know people.
You don't know.
This is why I don't like churches or people who almost idolize their pastors.
You don't.
Idolize their pastors, almost put them at the same level of God or Jesus. Because you really don't know what people are doing behind closed doors. Everybody is a human. Everybody on this earth is a human being. Nobody is God. Nobody is Jesus. We shouldn't be idolizing these pastors or people in power. And he might not even be like a pastor. He might just have been up there for one Sunday or whatever. But all I'm saying is that that's a good generalization. Like, you can't be idolizing these people. Right? Because now, are you worshiping God or are you worshiping Pastor X, Y, and Z?
No, they're worshiping man.
So people need to be more cognizant of that. We're all human beings capable of terrible things. Like they said, the heart of man is evil.
Wicked.
The heart of man is wicked. Evil. Speaking of that, bro, have you been seeing this girl that was giving her testimony? The Nigerian girl?
I haven't listened to it, but that's what everyone's talking about.
You need to watch it from part 1 to part 2. It has 18 parts.
They said it takes an hour and a half.
Dude, it's worth it. I just double XP because I don't got that time. But it's worth it. If you haven't seen this story, I think her name is Ifunanya.
Ifunanya, yeah.
I think her name is Ifunanya. She just posted a story, an 18-part series. If people know Risa Tisa, it's kind of like the same thing where they're just talking about this crazy situation that happened to them in their life. But unlike Risa Tisa, this girl had videos and receipts of what was happening. This girl, mind you, she's maybe 21, like in her 20s, or at least that's what she seemed like. Her dad had left to go to Nigeria because he didn't want to be in the U.S. anymore. He had already retired from his job and everything, and he wanted to live his life back in Nigeria, back in his hometown. And they're like, okay, bye, Pops, we'll see you next time. Mind you, they know his dad has medical complications, but they said that with the money that he was getting and stuff, he'd be able to get the treatment and stuff like that. He would still come back to the U.S. maybe once in a while to get, if it was ever any bad. So the dad was staying there with his brothers and sisters in Nigeria, right? And when he first went, like, they would talk once in a while, like, how are you doing, stuff like that, and then communication almost just ceased. And then I was like, wait, why is my dad not? And anytime she'll call her aunts or uncles, his brothers and sisters, they would just say, oh, he's upstairs, I don't want to bother him right now, he's sleeping. She'll call again, oh, he went with his uncle in this country, I don't want... Could never talk to him. She said, okay.
Were they the ones doing evil?
Very much so. Damn. She literally booked her trip to Nigeria, and then she booked her trip to where and this is what I love about her. Every single video she makes, she starts with a word. With the Bible verse. Related to what she went through. Bro, when I tell you, this girl, I can tell, is a prayer warrior, bro. Every video. She did not start a single video without giving us a word. And then she had video receipts of what was going on. Apparently, long story short, the aunts and uncles were literally keeping her dad in a room this whole time. Feeding him once in a while. And he was supposed to be getting care because he has an illness. Was getting zero care. His feet were shrunken up. Bro, then mind you, he has a pension from the U.S., so he's getting $5,000 a month. Imagine $5,000 a month. What is that doing in Nigeria? She believes that they were using that money to build houses somewhere else. She gets to her dad's compound. They had poured sand all over the gate. She couldn't even get in. She had to call the villagers and stuff to help her to get into where her dad was. Right? She finds her dad where he is. The man is in terrible condition. right? Then she goes back to try to go pick him up because she can't do it by herself and stuff to gather people to help her. The aunt and uncle kidnapped the dad. Took him to some other place so that they could clean him up and because she called the police. The aunt is in jail right now.
Heck yeah.
The aunt is in jail.
She should be fed to the lions.
Bro, all that happened by some miracle. She was able to bring her dad back to the U.S. And you think that that's where the story will end. No. She brings her dad back to the U.S. He's feeling better. They put him in a home because he actually needs like 24-hour care because he was so badly ill. Yeah. So one of the uncles that was here in the U.S. heard about what Finaya was doing back at home, and he was super upset with her. He went he found out where the nursing home was and tried to make the dad sign release papers so that he could be custody of her and leave the nursing home without letting them know that he was going to take the dad. There was definitely something going on that I feel like that 5,000 was just the minimum. There was definitely more to it. There's definitely more to it. And things was just, bro, from one issue to another issue to another.
Is this the person in jail right now in the U.S.?
Oh no, the person was in jail in Nigeria, which is even crazier. If you know anything about jail in Nigeria, you do not want to.
Wait, what about the person that was trying to get
her here in the U.S.?
Here in the U.S.
Nothing. It's not illegal. That's his brother. He just went into the room and tried to get him to sign papers so that he would have custody over their dad. And if you have custody over someone, that means you are allowed to take them wherever. Like you have sole custody of that person. Because you could have custody over adults as well. And the dad isn't all the way there yet at the time. And that's something that just happened as of recent.
Yeah.
And she's been battling this thing. She was telling this story about events that happened back in 2022. She's just not talking about it. So I'm just like, yo.
People are wicked, bro.
People are wicked. And imagine that it's like your immediate family doing this wickedness. How can you have somebody just being in one room and you know that they are ill? And you know that they need to be seeing their doctor. She looked at the medical records. He had not been to the doctor since the same year he landed in Nigeria. And it's been like 2 or 3 years later. Man just there barely breathing, barely talking. Barely alive, bro. When I tell you, and by the time, when he left, you should have seen him when he left, he was waving, walking, everything fine. By the time they come back to Nigeria, this nigga's in a wheelchair. He had to do a lot of PT to even get movement back in his legs.
Is he even able to move now?
Well, now he's a lot healthier. I don't know, she didn't talk about his condition now, but he says that he's better, like he's healthier. He's actually like, give his life to Christ because he wasn't really in the church before. Now he's giving his life to Christ and now he's doing all these things that are better for him. But now they have to keep him in the house because they're afraid that if they put him back out there, their uncle might try to... now she has to go back to court too because they have to figure out what the official sentence is going to be for the auntie in Nigeria.
Bro, life to the lions.
Bro, I'm just like, yo, this is ridiculous.
Feed her every once in a while.
But this is the other part of it. This is the thing, right? You can give your testimony, and it can affect people in a positive way. But you can't control the internet. The internet might do it in a bad way. So this is the thing. I was reading the comments, and guess what? They have found. They went to go find the daughter of the uncle that lives here, and said they're gonna start spamming her IG and stuff, talking about your dad is this, your dad is that. They said they didn't let her rest, so now they're not gonna let his family. Bro, like why? Why are we doing that, bro? That's the thing about the internet.
That's the fruit of your labor, bro.
That's the thing about the internet, bro.
That's the fruit of your labor.
Sure, I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but the kids don't deserve that.
But that's repercussions.
It's the repercussions of evilness.
Damn.
But I'm just like, control where the internet will take things, bro. You can't control it. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna say about that.
They should get Buddy for fired. Tell him to go walk up and down.
Oh, bro, he's a retired court something, so he knows about legal documents. That's why it's even more evil. He knows about ways to get custody and stuff. Bro, this girl is still fighting battles, yo. Bro, pray for her and her family, bro.
I heard a lot of people have come to like help.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people have supported.
Bro,
it shook the whole Nigeria.
Oh, it shook the whole Nigerian internet, bro. Bro, Nigerian internet, this is all they talk about.
Fastest. I feel like Nigerian internet is one of the fastest things in the world.
It's wild. No,
my parents were talking about it.
Oh, they were?
What? My parents were talking about it. My dad, and they comprehended the whole thing. Then I saw it on TikTok, but I'm just like, not today.
That's the thing about Nigeria. For a place that don't got electricity 24 hours, bro,
They
be on the
drama.
internet.
They got gossip.
They be on the internet, bro. Nigerians are social media warriors. You know, Trump added them to the no-fly list.
I know.
Crazy. So now people can't fly. Well, I don't know if it's enacted yet, but he put them on the list that he wants for countries to be banned. So people can't come from Nigeria to the U.S. right now because he put a ban on them.
People are going to Canada.
Yeah, Canada's actually accepting people that with open arms because they're realizing that, oh wait, we actually need more people.
I think America is going to regret.
Bro, the whole list is all Nigerian. It's all African countries. That whole list is African countries.
Not even talking about the no ban list. This whole immigration thing. I was thinking the other day, and I wouldn't say apologize is the right word, but sincere. Felt really sincere. But it's like people who are having to go through that day in and day out. Where it's like we're talking from a point of view where we have a passport, we have this and that, like we have a social security. But like there are people out here who work their butts off. There are people out here who pay taxes. They do all these things, and the government is just, I feel like, wrongfully doing it. I think there's a respectful way, and I think if I was president, and this is me, I can never be president because I wasn't born here. But if I had any say, it'd be like, man, if you are an outstanding citizen, but you're an illegal immigrant, and you have shown that, man, like you have successfully defeated the system, and you're doing it well, and you're actually living a really American life, keep doing what you're doing. Then we should be helping you. We should be giving you the resources to become an official citizen. Wow. But it's like, man, if you sit in and you criminal, I'm gonna spank your ass, and I'm gonna boot your ass to El Salvador.
And I think you've always had that mindset.
Yeah, I always had that.
It's just that you always had to think like, okay, why are they doing the things that they're doing? But one thing we have to understand too is like, some people are just bigots. They're just bigots. And this is something that I just found out too, thanks to TikTok. I've been on TikTok a lot. You know how there's privatized prisons? Where there's family-owned prisons where they make a lot of money. There is privatized detention centers for immigration. These privatized detention centers are family-owned, and what they do is they lobby for there to be more immigrants. Because what they do is this. They lobby so that these laws get passed that make sure that as there's more strictness on immigration. Because that way they get more immigrants into their detention centers and they're making more money. Because remember, how much money does it cost to deport an immigrant? $17,000. Multiply that by millions of immigrants. They're making so much money housing these immigrants in detention centers. To the point that and this is the thing about privatization, it's like a company.
It's a contract. It's a government contract.
And a company is always going to want to make more money and innovate. So it's like you're promoting them.
And they get tax benefit.
You're promoting them to be more strict on these immigrants because it means more money for them because it's a business. So these privatized prisons, these privatized immigration centers are making hand over fist in money, bro. And they're paying these lobbyists to make sure they sign these laws to make sure more immigrants get into these detention centers so they can make more bread.
See, privatized prisons, honestly, I don't think it's the worst thing. Shoot, if you make a decision, come on board, come here. Your decision is my wealth.
Literally.
If
you're a criminal, you're a criminal.
But you're telling me, and I know for a fact there's a lot of people in some prisons that should not be in those prisons.
For sure.
And the only reason they're in those prisons is because those people get a check.
Oh, for sure.
And if that's the reason for privatized deportations, I don't think there's anything wrong with a privatized deportation. I just think if you're doing it unlawfully and you're doing it to continually get more, but like you said, a business is only made to get profit.
Exactly.
And you can only make profit if there's more illegals here, and if there becomes more stricter laws. We want more immigrants to come into the United States, but at the same time we want stricter rules so that we can send them back.
There's a reason why people call Ronald Reagan the devil. and Reaganomics and all that. This man was the one that really jeered up the black man no more in the family home. Because look, this is what happened. This man goes, what drug are a lot of white people using? Cocaine? Okay. What drugs are the blacks using? Well, they're smoking a lot of weed, huh? A little bit of crack. Okay, let's make sure that when they get caught with crack, they get the life. But if a nigga get caught with cocaine, we'll give him a little something on the side. Bro, imagine, this is the mindset. They go, okay, what are you guys already doing that we can now make illegal so we can throw more of you in prison? That's literally the mindset. That's literally how so many people...
Bro, crack is just hard than cocaine.
Bro, I know a friend of mine, I don't know if I can say this. Maybe not a friend of mine, but I know someone. Right? Who knows someone?
Not a friend of yours?
Not a friend of mine. I can't even lie. I can't say that. I can't even lie.
You can still say that.
Okay, let me just I see it on TikTok.
You saw that. Something that you saw on TikTok.
I saw somebody who was, let's say, criminalizing this thing as maybe an officer in the law.
Criminalizing what?
Weed. Because it was illegal for a while.
Okay.
Right? Now, that same individual is growing it. And smoking it. He says it's the best.
Bro. Weed farms, weed companies, as soon as they legalized it in states,
they're up.
Bro, they have to, I don't know for a fact, but because they usually people usually pay cash at these places. So they're saying every 15, 30 minutes, someone has to run to the bank. You can't keep that much money in one location that's unsecure.
When I tell you this Cub right here, you go to the Cub, there's a whole section now within Cub, not even the Cub liquor store, Cub, for weed THC drinks. THC drinks all through the wide. It's normalized now. Bro, now if I go out for a drink, I gotta ask, is there THC in this? Because now it's like they putting it in everything.
Bro, it's normal at work. You can talk about it at work.
Yeah, you can talk about it at work.
Before it was weed, that's not. But it's like, weed. Bro, I take THC before I go to bed every night. That really helps.
This was the same people criminalizing. This is the same people saying only hood rats do weed. Now they selling it. Now they making profitizing. Bro, I feel like everybody in jail for a weed offense that's non-violent, they need to be exonerated, bro. Because now it's legal. It's about to be legal federally. It's coming up. I feel like if it becomes legalized on a federal level, they need to release those people.
Doesn't that make sense? You did something that was illegal at the time.
At times, so you did your time.
You did your time, and now that it is legal, you still have time. But it's like what you did was not a crime. It's not a crime anymore.
And this is the other thing too. There is something called time served. So if you're in prison for a certain amount of time,
no one ever gets full sentence.
Exactly.
Unless you give it.
And that's the other thing too.
Time and a half.
If you go to jail and it takes a long time for your hearing, but the amount of time you've been in jail before your hearing happens is equivalent. You get something called time served. So it adds on. So it's get minus from the time you get.
Let's say you spend
some people don't
a year. Let's say you spend a year in jail before you go to the hearing, and you got 2-3 years. You only got a year left?
Exactly. So all those guys should get time served. They've already been in jail for the weed situation.
But you can't do that though.
Why?
Who's gonna fill them empty cells? Who's gonna pay? The government has to say they have money. They have an account that pays prisons. The money has to be used for some way, somehow. Their friends and their friends' friends have to make money, and that money needs to be used. So it's like, all right, well, this is now legal. You know what? Stay your butt in jail. Prisoners make a lot of money. Not for themselves, but
not for themselves at all. Not for themselves at all. And it's just a systematic thing that is a huge issue that I feel like not a lot of people talk about. And this is the other thing too. Jail is supposed to be for rehabilitation. How are you supposed to be rehabilitated when you get out of prison and now you can't get a job because you're on a felony list? Now you can't go out and vote. Now you can't get a loan. Now you can't get an apartment because the apartment will do a background check and say you were in prison. Yo, there are so many things, bro, that once you become a felon, bro, you're gone.
You're cooked. Especially,
and then talk about don't go back to a life of crime. What else are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to make money?
No. If you have one felony, Lord help you.
Now, you can get a felony for having multiple speeding tickets. If it gets to a certain amount of speeding tickets, it can be registered as a felony. You might not get any jail time,
but you still have to register
as a felony.
And it's like employers, especially right now in this, they do a background check and it says felony. They don't care what the felony.
What? To the trash, bro.
They don't care what the felony.
To the trash.
Even me, I have a clean record. They don't care about me.
Imagine you had a company.
I'm not hiring, buddy. What the hell? But you know what they need to do? You know what they need to do, though? I truly believe there really does need to be
rehabilitation. I don't think that happens in jail.
Centers. I think it needs to happen in jails and also out of jails, where as soon as someone gets out of jail, they need to be able to serve a couple months in a rehab facility. A rehab facility, like how you go to college and it's accredited. You go to a rehab facility that's accredited, then they have resources to jobs. They have resources to apartments. Because you now give them a certificate saying, hey, yo, I have gone through this rehab facility, and I am now ready to be a proper citizen that does crime no more.
Yep. Now, speaking of criminals, let me not say speaking of criminals, let's talk about war, man. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
What?
So now we have Israel. First it was Israel versus...
Jesus.
Bro, when you just hear the news, you just get depressed now. Before, we had Israel versus Palestine. Back then, Palestinians attacked the Israelis. The Israelis said, okay, we finna kill everybody and your moms. Bomb, 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 bomb. Now, Netanyahu is saying they heard intelligence that Iran has enough uranium for 9 atom bombs. So now because Iran is stockpiling so many uranium, that means they have the ability to make nuclear weapons, right? Now they have these nuclear weapons. On top of that, they believe that the Iranians were also supplying Hamas and Hezbollah and are supplying these people. So they're like, oh my goodness, this country is supplying our enemies. They're in charge of...
Is that the propaganda or is that the truth?
I believe it's yes and no.
Okay.
But the uranium thing, but I saw a very good video on TikTok where it was Netanyahu saying this exact same thing about Iran since 1996. He says, any day now, Iran has enough uranium bombs to destroy us. It could be in a few weeks. In a few weeks, they have enough for 9 bombs. He's been saying that since 1996. And Iran has never once dropped a nuclear weapon, right? Now Netanyahu
gonna be me daddy.
Bro,
dad, so he finna die.
Bro, no, we don't want that because he's gonna pull us in. So this is the thing. Now Netanyahu has said that is just enough justification to attack Iran. So first of all,
however you say it, how you say
Netanyahu. Let's say Israeli president.
Yeah. Oh, this is the Israeli president. I thought it was the Iranian president.
No, this is the Israeli president.
Oh, so the whole thing is you're saying he's been plotting to kill Iran
1996.
The same way we said it was mass destruction in
was it Afghanistan or Iraq?
Damn near both.
They said after 9/11, they said they have weapons of mass destruction. We need to go there.
We gave them the weapons of mass destruction,
bro. And on top of that, since Netanyahu's been saying this for so long, now he's attacked. He was the one who attacked Iran first. He sent bombs to Iran. They've knocked some of them down, but some hit. Yeah. Now, Iran military's on Twitter. They said the day of reckoning is here.
Yeah, no.
A day of retribution has come.
No.
They were literally tweeting this, the Iranian military.
What do you expect if someone bombs New York City?
We supposed to be chilling?
Daddy, but you're dead.
Bro,
there's gonna be songs, there's gonna be dances, there's gonna be atomic bomb sounds.
That's why they attacked Israel.
Why
they attacked Tel Aviv.
Why Tel Aviv?
Bro.
Talk about
Bro. They were dancing. Bro, there was literally a clip of somebody playing the saxophone as these bombs was, They were knocking some of them down, but they have also help from the U.S. The U.S. is helping to knock down some of those bombs that are coming into Israel. Right?
Is the U.S. so powerful?
Now the U.S. wants... what I'm talking about is what does Israel have that the U.S. wants to help them so badly?
They must have something.
They must have something. So now, Netanyahu wants the U.S. involved. He wants the U.S. involved so bad so they can destroy.
Yeah, now you deal with your own problems yourself.
That's what Trump said.
I'm not going to know
Trump said
Iran for nobody.
Trump tweeted that we're not going to get involved. But now, there was just a government summit that they had. Trump left a day early. Now they're saying...
Russia left a day early.
Yes.
China left a day early.
Everybody right now is in their situation room, bro. They tweeted saying that Trump has called an emergency meeting in the situation room. Nothing good happens when there's an emergency in the situation room.
I want to be in that room.
I want to know what they talk about.
I hate being out here.
Bro.
Why am I here? Why am I talking to y'all? I want to be in the room.
Go sign up for Doge. You're still having customers. But that's what I'm saying, bro. Not that they're doing that.
Oh my
Trump is in the situation of having an emergency conversation. So we don't know if we will be involved in this war. We already kind of involved though, because we're helping them shoot down these missiles that are going into Israel. But on top of that too, all it takes is for Iran or even Israel to hit a base where there's U.S. troops, or not even hit a base, go near it. Hit something near the U.S. troops. We're in it whether we like it or not. Now Russia is in it. Now France says they're going to defend Israel. France is in it.
They don't want that yet.
Now we're in World War III, bro. It's this
going to be
easy.
the most deadliest war.
Trump has already said that he doesn't want. There's not going to be any wars under his presidency. We already smelling something cooking. Something cooking. And we're always saying something is cooking. We're always saying
but this one is
got some heat, bro.
This is the way your mom told you don't touch the stove and you go touch the stove. That's what Iran and Israel is doing right now. They're touching the stove.
The only person, let me not even say that because they already got Palantir doing the AI recognition ready to throw somebody in jail because they said something. But all I'm saying is this. A man has been spending the last 2 to 3 years trying to destroy Palestine, bombing their ass every single day. Now you want to go bomb Iran because you think they have something you think they have? Not because that they've attacked you. I mean,
they probably haven't. Let's be honest.
They probably are, supporting Hamas and Hezbollah and all that. But now you are attacking them and you expect them, you just want to attack and hide your hand? So now you want to destroy Palestine. Now you want to destroy Iran. When will you stop, Netanyahu? When will
my
this
question
stop?
I feel like the United States can only defeat white folks. They can only defeat Russians. They can only defeat Germans. They can only defeat others. But when you talk about Middle East,
bro, they are too cold, bro.
Didn't we lose?
We lost. The stuff in Afghanistan, we lost. Biden pulled them out last year. It was a huge news. We lost. We pulled out and people were trying to hold on to the plane, jumping off the plane and stuff. We lost that joint.
We did kill Buddy Ford. We killed the leaders. We still lost.
What's his name? Osama bin Laden.
Obama.
They got him.
Obama bin Laden.
But this is the thing too. The amount of troops that have come back with PTSD from Afghanistan is ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous.
I ain't going no Tel Aviv for nobody.
Bro, that's all Twitter is saying.
My leg. Oh, I got surgery. Yes. Oh, yes. I'm unfit. I'm unwell. My knee surgery, it still hurts.
But I've
had knee surgery and I don't even have all my bones in my body.
Imagine, bro, the people today do TikTok dances. You want me to go fight in Iran?
Damn. Wait, I got a question.
Talk about what the hell? What the hell?
What the cabal? What the boom? That's not funny.
That's crazy,
but
bro.
No, if there is a draft and whatnot, damn, bro.
Canada looking good.
Not even Canada looking good, because I won't be able to go.
Yeah.
I got surgeries and left and right and broken bones, and I'm unfit to go to war.
Yeah.
I'm not unfit to play the NFL. Yeah. I'm unfit to go to war. So, does that open up jobs in America? Can I ask for double, triple pay?
Bro, you want me to tell you something?
If that does happen, because a lot of people won't be here to do the job.
We talk about the boomers, right? How did the boomers become the boomers? Because in the 1920s, the roaring 20s was right after the war. After war, always, well, the winning side always has the most prosperity, economic boom.
And the losing side,
never the same.
Never the same.
So that's the thing, right? And this is the thing I like about the U.S. though. The U.S. likes to play war, but never in our hometown.
Yeah.
It's like you say, you tell someone, bro, let's go fight. But let's do it in the house. They never bring the fight to the U.S.
Unless it's against themselves.
Bro, the fight is always there, bro. It's always over there. And you know what? Keep it over there. Netanyahu just said something like, oh, today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York. That's a threat, bro. That's a threat. Now you're threatening the U.S. The people who's been supporting you with Palestine this whole time.
Oh, somebody said, hey, you better not come to the big ass.
Bro.
Don't come to the big ass.
Minnesota's not a part of the U.S. We're part of Canada, bro.
Hey, bro, because let me tell you, we are dealing with the Somalis right now. Wait till you got to start dealing with that, bro. We give them unlimited equipment, unlimited ammo. I think this war can be fought with just Somalis from Minnesota and Philly alone.
That's it. And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, let's not let it get to that point, bro. And this is the issue. We have a president that is so trigger happy, bro.
But
Trump is so trigger happy. He wants smoke when the smoke doesn't even exist.
But the smoke is here. Who would you rather want, Ebenezer? No.
I want peace.
Ebenezer. Let's say war is inevitable. Mm-hmm. Who do you want, Biden or Trump, to lead a country into war?
Biden's not a choice. That man is not even here mentally or physically, bro.
I'm sorry.
It's the only choice we have. But we did have Kamala, bro.
I'm sorry, it's not the time for the first woman president. Like, no, it's not the time. Let's take it one step at a time, bro. Because to go from first woman president to also having the first woman president be World War III, there will never be another woman president.
But look, that's true.
Let's just be happy that there was no, because people will make that correlation. Be like, oh, look at what happened when you had a woman president.
I honestly think it's safe to say that, even now, it's safe to say that if Trump was even on the ballot next year, he's not getting it.
Yeah.
He's not getting it, bro. He's not getting it.
The states might as well just take white out and just...
Literally, it's only been 6 months. And it's been this bad, bro.
All I need to say is kids are gonna die. Women are gonna die. And
This is the thing. World War III can't happen. Because if World War III happens, that is the end of the world. That's the day the world ends.
Because the way the technology is, it's not. You don't go to South Korea. You don't go to whatever. You don't go to Asia.
You see what happened in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, bro? That was back in
1980,
19 something, bro. 19 something, bro. That's happened. Imagine that happens today.
1990s, yeah.
No, it wasn't 1990s, nigga.
1980.
That was World War II.
No, Hiroshima was not. Hiroshima did not happen in
World War II. That was World War II. That Hiroshima and Nagasaki was going on. That was
1945.
1945, a long time ago. But look,
damn.
Imagine that happens now with the technology that we have, bro. Bro, they said that people's bodies were incinerated. Like no molecules left, bro. That's what I'm saying. And not to mention, that's the thing. If the impact of the bomb doesn't kill you, bro, the radiation will. And it'll kill you in a worse way. You'll be bleeding out of every you see how you have little pores in your bodies? You'll be bleeding out of every pore.
They said they killed 150,000 people.
Bro, yes. Bro, the United States has so much blood on its hands. There will never be. I'm not even praying bad on this country, but this country will never know peace.
No.
Because this country was built on so much blood. There's no way.
It can't be.
There's no way. The Native Americans. That one we didn't even try. All we did was dead. Then we actually tried. But the amount of people that have been
Mexican
killed,
war,
bro.
The whole reason why we have Cali, Mexico, Texas,
bro. The Mexican American War, crazy. And the amount of blood we have on our hands is unfathomable.
Even in our own country, the amount of blood.
A country built on the blood of the innocents can never have peace.
Never.
We talk about, why is there never peace? Bro, the country.
The foundation
is bloody. The foundation is bloody.
Bro, this is the most podcast we've ever agreed on anything.
Yes, literally. This is the most we've ever agreed on. The foundation is so bloody. You can never find peace in a place where you just killed a bunch of innocents. On a spiritual level, the peace will never be there.
Never.
And the spiritual controls the physical. If the spiritual is crazy, the physical gonna be crazy.
Oh my goodness.
It doesn't work backwards. You can't try to do everything physically. And, bro, we have a spiritual cleansing we need to have before this country finds peace, bro.
Call Jesus Christ to come back.
I'm telling you.
Bro, I have a feeling,
bro.
and let me know if this analogy makes sense or not. When you have a kid, or when you have a kid who grows up in a really hard family, and his parents are just neglecting him, and his parents are just letting him do whatever, and it becomes quote unquote a bad kid, right? That kid is then, let's say that kid ends up doing bad things in life, and he ends up in jail, he kills people, he do all these things. I feel like that's what's gonna happen to America.
Is that what?
Is that it's gonna it gets worse outside of America, it's only gonna get worse in America. Amongst each other. Because when your leaders are acting like unreasonable, and when they're doing unreasonable things, it makes people feel a little bit invisible. It makes people think, okay, well, these people are doing, and I think it's really heavy on Trump, well, especially what you said earlier, when Trump goes out and talks about these people, when he talks about all these things, people then feel innocent, people then feel invisible, and then people go out and go kill people
who don't feel like their voice is being heard.
Yeah, it's just like, I just pray that the United States people don't get neglected in these next couple of years when this war is going on.
I feel like the sentiment of America first is what we really need right now, because
we need togetherness.
We need togetherness, and I hate to say this, but nothing brings people together like a common enemy. Thank you. Nothing brings. If you see the amount of patriots after 9/11. People will tell you when they experience, because we're too young to know what that was like, that atmosphere was like. People will tell you that after 9/11, the world was never more together, or the U.S. was never more together. There was never more peace, and people just being respectful and nice to each other.
To every culture other than the Middle East.
Then the Middle Eastern, of course. The xenophobia started to rise, for sure. It was created as soon as that happened. But there has never been more togetherness in New York since, or not even New York, in the country since that happened. Literally that, and it's sad. But that's what brings togetherness. It's almost like times of peace is what causes more
strife.
conflict. Times of chaos,
when chaos is all you know, when bloodshed is all you know,
and you find some release.
You have to.
Oh yeah.
It's like when you're in credit card debt. It's like no. It's like when you're in credit card debt. You're trying to get out of credit card debt. You're in credit card debt, and you can see the end of the tunnel. That's when you want to add up more credit card debt because you've been used to credit card debt.
Yes.
You go to what you're used to.
Yep.
That's why you have to physically say no. I'm not, even though I'm used to being in this position. No.
Yeah.
I know what is ahead of me is better than anything that I could ever. I don't want to be spending the rest of my life getting a check and it's going straight to my Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, you're a bad guy. You take all my money. You're a bad guy.
Pay off that credit card. But that's the thing, right? I just pray that we're able to not have to go there.
I don't.
Israel, Iran, keep all that stuff Over there, please. And now, speaking on Trump, this last Trump thing, Trump is creating a cell service.
Who called
When I tell you, I support the hustle, bro. This man is a businessman. This man was selling Trump 1s, Jordan 1s. This man was selling Bibles. This man was selling T-shirts. This man was selling American Great Again hats. Now he has it in his own cell phone service.
And phone.
He's
coming out with a new phone. Apple, come correct. Come correct before you lose a customer.
The man says, why is it called the Gulf of Mexico? It should be called the Gulf of America.
And it's
changed. Now
in America.
Now he's gonna, in America. But now he's trying to have his own phone. Bro, the amount of, they just came out with this, they came out with how much he made in 2024. The most he made was from this holding venture capital firm that he has, where his family's all co-founders, and made about $5 million. That was the least. Then there was another one making more money. The man made so much money, it's almost unconstitutional how much he made in 2024. It's good,
and he got taxed.
And a lot of it was also from the Trump coin. Now the amount of money, if they do when they do his audit for next year, 2026, for this year, 2025, no other president is going to be richer than Donald J. Trump after this presidency is done. He's gonna make sure him and his is eaten for the rest of their life, and that he will never go to jail.
As he should.
This man
That's what I would do.
is going to commit as many crimes close to the border as possible and not go to jail.
I hope he does.
And he's gonna be rich as hell doing it. He's gonna be smiling.
We need to take a picture of his book, bro. I'm gonna have to start reading his books, bro. Because this be hustling.
Because he's bulletproof, bro. It's not even about being white, bro. Nobody, even white people, nobody has never done the things Donald Trump has done and said. Bro, after the Pope died, he posted an AI picture of himself as the Pope. Imagine if, what's this called? Joe Biden did that. Oh, there will be hell to pay. There will be hell to pay. What's his name? The one lady, the speaker talking about, what a stupid question. That's, bro, his regime, his presidency, him himself, there's so much stuff he's done and gotten away with that nobody on the face of this planet could do and get away with.
Yeah, he's the CEO.
He's bulletproof.
He's the CEO that can wear a t-shirt to the meetings because at the end of the day, they all have to go to him.
The man said during his first time running, said that I can go to the middle of Main Street, shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any votes. 100%. He's not lying. He's not lying. Even Elon Musk with his mouth said that he's on the Epstein files. They got pictures with him and Epstein chilling, partying.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Trump.
They don't care. And then Elon said, oh, I'm sorry.
Because you know why he said I'm sorry?
Why? He don't want those contracts to be canceled.
Of course.
Bro,
how do you take down Trump?
Bro, Trump probably called him and I said, you know SpaceX?
You know what he's nah.
You know SpaceX?
I can tell you what he said. He said ring. Hello,
Shape up.
South African ass. I'll deport your ass.
Yeah, right away.
What?
He said, hold on. Elon heard. Trump said, you know who that is? That's ICE agents. You better come correct, nigga.
Come on,
my God. Send his ass back to South Africa with the expedition.
Oh my goodness.
You finna be talking to your kids XYZ over the phone on FaceTime, nigga.
But you know what my goal is,
no, not on FaceTime. On Trump time. When he gets a new phone. On the Trump time.
Hopefully it works better than FaceTime.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know what my goal by the end of the year is?
Well,
get the new Tesla.
Really?
Yeah, that's my goal. Get the
by December?
By December, get it.
Not the Cybertruck?
I don't care for no damn Cybertruck.
Which model do you want?
I think they only came out in the Model Y, but it's really nice.
It's not the one that goes up. That's the X.
I don't care about that.
Yeah. You want the Y?
I want the Y.
For the range or what?
No, it's just amazing.
Really?
It's good.
How?
They have all new designs.
I'm telling you, before you do it, take some time. We have Enterprise right here. Take some time. Maybe spend $100. $100 will give you a rental for a week. spend $100 and drive it for a no.
I love it.
I want you to.
It's $1,000 to drive a car for a week.
No, when I went to I always say when I went to Texas or just this year when I went to Philadelphia and I rented a car, it cost me like $150
For the whole week?
Yeah, you can go to I wasn't there for a week though, but I'm saying rent this car for a week.
If I'm able to hit the goal before I buy, I'll test drive it.
Bro, bro, because I want you to understand that you are charging that ish almost every day.
Yeah,
especially if you're doing long drives.
I get a home charger.
Bro, home chargers you have to. Bro, imagine you gotta work at 8. You wake up at 7:30, get ready and stuff. Now you down in your garage by like 7:45. You realize you didn't charge that mug overnight.
You have it daily. You have to have it daily. You cannot just have it.
Exactly.
You have to have it daily. Like I'll keep my car.
Yes,
for,
that's right. And the other thing about electric vehicles, they don't do well in the winter. So they are less.
Tesla does.
No,
just range wise, it doesn't.
Yes, it doesn't do as well in the winter. If you look back when we had that crazy cold, all the Chicago cars didn't move because they were stuck because the batteries were too cold.
Man, this is 2026.
Bro, that's just because it was that cold. They couldn't move.
2026.
So that's what I'm saying. You have to realize what you're buying.
Bro, I know what I want, bro.
Oh,
I can't wait.
Electric is cool.
I can't wait.
Electric is cool, but I'm good off electric for right now.
Bro, how are you gonna the next car? What is it? The next car you're gonna get?
Hopefully a van with a family. For the next car, if I get once I get married and have
I'm not getting no damn minivan.
No, once I get a family, wife, couple kids, I'm getting an Escalade.
Heck yeah, Chevy Tahoe.
Nah, I'm getting an Escalade. No, not the Chevy. The
Ford Expedition.
No, what's a Cadillac? I'm getting a Cadillac. Escalade.
They're all the same thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a Cadillac though, because that's luxury. That's nice. Oh man, and that goes for. Bro, that gas will go for a long time.
But it will give you.
But I'm not gonna.
miles an hour.
I'm not gonna buy electric. If my wife wants an electric car, sure we can get an electric car. But I'm not gonna.
Let's worry about getting a wife first.
This nigga got jokes. Boy, we finna get there, bro. Man, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Whole Lotta Podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. This has been your host Ebenezer Ojo.
Hope Adebayo.